First, you want to consider why they are asking you the "what are you passionate about" question in the first place. Is it because they want to know a little bit more about you? Sure. Is it because they want to know what kinds of things take up your time outside of work, provided the passion is not work-related? Yes. Is it because they want to know what value you might add to the role because of what it is you are passionate about? I did a longer video on this topic a while back that was super popular. So I will link that video below, and between that video and this one, you are going to have absolutely everything you need to know on how to answer the "what are you passionate about" question. But what happens if you have zero idea whether or not you have a passion? Well, stick around to the end because I'm going to help you out with that one. And I'm also going to give you the exact formula of how to answer this question either way. So the first thing to do is to choose one thing. Two if you absolutely must, but choose one thing about which you are passionate. And one thing is good to focus on for answering this question. The second thing to do is figure out why you are passionate about it. Give one or two examples, but keep them short and give context. So, for example, I am passionate about gardening in the spring and the summer because it is so satisfying to plant and to water and to nurture and to care for something that will then grow and flourish. Okay, see what I did there? I could have metaphorically been talking about a work project, or about how I feel when I teach someone something. So you want to answer the question honestly, but you also want it to be useful to the role. The third thing to do is to use this question as an opportunity to show off your strengths. If you like building models, little teeny tiny model cars or model trains or railroads or doll houses, you can talk about patience. You can talk about attention to detail. You can talk about the longevity of something because you can't put one of those things together in 10 minutes. It takes hours, sometimes weeks, sometimes months, to be able to then sit back and look at the perfection of this thing that you have created. So use all of those things in talking about the passion that you have chosen. If you like to cook and you like to host dinner parties, you can talk about the planning and the preparation and then the hosting of events, because maybe you have to host and plan and present and prepare and host events in the work that you do. What you don't want to say when asked this question is anything that is going to interfere with your time at work. Like, say you had a passion for climbing Everest and something that might require weeks and months of time away. So you don't want to talk about anything potentially dangerous like that, like skydiving or base jumping, because that might not be so favorable. They might be worried about actually just losing you if you go off to do your hobby. So save those exciting revelations for office parties or water cooler conversations or whatever once you've been hired and once you've been there for a while. You don't want your answer to give the impression that your passion might in any way interfere with your work. If you've been getting value so far, hit that like button and do consider subscribing. And next, I'm going to tell you about how to answer this question with an exact formula and what to do if you are not particularly passionate about anything and thus have no idea how to answer. Here is the formula. Name the passion. Plus, put it into context. So when do you do this thing? Plus, what it is that you get out of it. And plus, what you bring to the role you are applying for because of it equals most excellent answer. I'm going to give you some examples in a moment first, but what do you do if you don't have a passion? Well, that's easy. Ask yourself, what is something that I prioritize in my life, that I make sure I do, and use that? Is it fitness? If you prioritize fitness in your life, you can answer the "what are you passionate about" question honestly, and remember the formula as I say this. I'm not sure that it's a true passion, but I put a high priority on my physical fitness. And I work out early in the morning, most mornings, and I find that that helps to ground me, and it helps me to think, and it gets my day off to a very positive start so that I have good energy and I can better focus on my work. Boom! Perfect answer! Maybe you do volunteer work. And so you can say something like this: I wouldn't say that I'm passionate about it per se, but I place a high value and a lot of importance on my volunteer work. Give an example of what it is that you do to volunteer. Maybe you help out at a local food bank, and then give them what you get out of it. Satisfaction, knowing that I am giving back or helping others in need. And then mention what it can do for the role. I have made a lot of community connections, and I really understand how food scarcity functions in our city, which may or may not be helpful to the role depending on what kind of job it is you're applying for, but you get the idea. So you make sure that you name the passion, you talk about the context in which you do this passion, you talk about what you get out of it, and then you talk about how it can enhance the role that you are applying for. So the passion or the priority, and again, if it's not a passion, say that. Be honest, be transparent, because honestly, not everybody has a true passion. I'm going to link to the original video I made on how to answer this question, so go and check that out next, and I will see you there.